Chapter 1. The Vanishing and the Council of War. The air was still, heavy with a silence that was more terrifying than any roar of a cursed spirit. It was the silence of an absent god. The assembled sorcerers stood on a desolate, scarred patch of land, a battlefield prepared for a clash of titans. The ground, a mix of pulverized rock and scorched earth, was a testament to the immense power they expected to witness. They had been waiting for Satoru Gojo. A dozen of the most powerful remaining Jujutsu sorcerers, Yuta Okotsu, Maki Zenin, Kinji Hikari, Hiromi Higuruma, and Yuji Itadori among them, were poised, their cursed energy coiled and ready. Their mission was to provide support, to be a failsafe, but in their hearts, they all knew they were nothing more than spectators to a grand duel that would decide the fate of their world. But the flash of cursed energy never came. The cerulean blue of a six eyes and limitless technique never painted the sky. There was no thunderous clash of domains, no earth-shattering shockwave. There was only absence. One moment they were waiting. The next, a profound, crushing reality settled in. Satoru Gojo was not coming, not late, not caught up. Gone. The silence was broken by the sharp, metallic chink of Maki's blade as she shifted her stance, a movement born of instinctual unease. Yuta's eyes, usually a calm sea of dark violet, were wide with a dawning horror. He felt the vast, empty space where Gojo's immeasurable cursed energy should have been. It wasn't just a physical absence. It was a cosmic one, like a star that had simply winked out of existence without so much as a supernova. "He's not here," Hikari said, his voice flat, his usual playful swagger completely gone. He looked at his hand, as if expecting the phantom feeling of Gojo's raw power to return, but there was nothing. Did he get sealed again? A collective shake of heads. Sealing would have left a trace, a disturbance in the flow of cursed energy, a ripple that would still be felt. This was different. This was a final, irreversible nullification. Kenjaku, the puppet master, had won, not through a climactic battle, but through an insidious, quiet victory that removed the one obstacle in his path before the final act had even begun. The Jujutsu world's ultimate failsafe, the lone hero who single-handedly maintained the balance of power, was gone. The battlefield became a mausoleum, a monument to a battle that never was. The sorcerers retreated, the weight of their failure pressing on them like a physical force. They gathered in a secure, reinforced chamber at the old Jujutsu High, the atmosphere heavy with dread and unresolved grief. Shoko Ieri, their medical sorcerer, stood with her head bowed, her hands trembling. Even her potent reverse curse technique could not heal a wound like this, a wound in the very fabric of their reality. It was Yuji who finally broke the suffocating silence of the Council of War. His face was grim, his eyes burning with an unshakable resolve that had been forged in the crucible of his own suffering. He had lost his mentor, his friends, and his home. But he had also found a new purpose. "We have to go on," he said, his voice low but firm. The words, simple as they were, cut through the despair. He looked at each of them, meeting their gazes with an intensity that held no room for doubt. "Gojo-sensei, he always carried the weight of everything on his own. We can't do that. We can't afford to. The world can't afford it." Yuta looked at him, his expression a mix of awe and sorrow. "Yuji, he was our last resort. The only one who could, he was the past," Yuji interrupted, his voice gaining strength. "Our society's whole philosophy was wrong. We relied on a single person to fix all our problems, and look where it got us. Now it's on all of us. This is a team fight, a collective war." He then did something none of them expected. He held out his fist, and from the tips of his fingers, a faint, ethereal glow emanated, not cursed energy, but something else entirely. It pulsed with a strange, otherworldly rhythm. "I can hurt him," Yuji said, his voice dropping to a near whisper. "Where it counts. Where no one else can." He went on to explain his newfound abilities, a result of his time as Sukuna's vessel, and his lineage from Kenjaku. His physical strikes, he revealed, could directly affect and damage the soul. He had honed this ability, discovering he could not only harm, but manipulate the souls of others. He spoke of a new, complex technique he had mastered, soul swapping. A collective gasp rippled through the room. Shoko's eyes, wide with disbelief, met Yuji's. She had seen the impossible, but this was a new level of anomaly. The plan to rescue Megumi Fushiguro, once a near-impossible dream, suddenly became a tangible, albeit fraught, possibility. Yuta, his mind racing, began to connect the pieces. Yuji's ability wasn't a side effect. It was the key. He was the one piece of the puzzle that made the impossible mission possible. The entire strategic landscape shifted in that instant. It was no longer a matter of overwhelming force. It was a delicate surgical strike. Higuruma, the calculating and meticulous lawyer, leaned forward. So the objective is no longer simple annihilation. It's soul extraction. He looked at the others. That changes everything. And so, the new three-phase assault doctrine was born. Yuta, as the new de facto leader, laid out the plan with the calm, methodical precision of a master strategist. He drew upon his vast cursed energy reserves and his understanding of each person's unique abilities. Maki's perfect heavenly restriction made her a ghost in the machine, a physical counter to Sukuna's reliance on cursed energy. Hikari's immortality made him the ultimate punching bag, a walking, regenerating wall of infinite cursed energy. Higuruma and Hana would be the tactical nullifiers, disarming Sukuna's techniques, and Yuji was the catalyst, the final and most crucial piece of the puzzle. The Council of War, once a den of despair, was now a furnace of grim determination. Gojo's absence had forced them to evolve, to reevaluate their entire philosophy of strength. The old paradigm was dead. The era of the lone hero was over. The mission to rescue Megumi, and by extension save their world, had officially begun. The collective war was upon them, and for the first time, they felt the weight not of one man's burden, but of their shared collective strength.